back. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And here's the hard truth. Most people never feel confident because they're waiting for permission, waiting for motivation, waiting to feel ready. But confidence doesn't come from waiting. It comes from doing the things that scare you, keeping the promises you make to yourself, and proving through action that you can be trusted. Back. If you've ever wondered why you doubt yourself or how to finally silence that voice of hesitation, this will be the wake-up call you've been needing. Confidence is not something you are born with. Back. It is something you earn through actions that test your limits and force you into discomfort. When you step into a challenge that feels bigger than you, your mind tells you to retreat back, but it is in those moments that confidence is quietly built. Every hard choice, every difficult situation, every uncomfortable step forward adds a layer of strength inside you that cannot be shaken. Back. People often wait for confidence to appear before they act, but the truth is action comes first and confidence follows. You don't grow confident by sitting in safety. You grow confident by confronting fear and walking straight into it. The human spirit is designed to adapt when it is pushed into pressure, and that adaptation becomes courage. Hard things force you to discover skills, back, resilience, and grit that comfort never exposes. Each time you succeed at something you once thought impossible, your definition of what you are capable of changes forever. And it is that shift back, that constant rewriting of your limits, that creates true confidence. When you choose the easy path, you protect your comfort but rob yourself of growth. Avoiding difficulty may feel safe in the moment, but over time it builds quiet insecurity because you never get to prove to yourself what you can endure. The hard path feels intimidating because it demands effort, sacrifice, and patience back. But it always pays back in strength. Think of the moments in your life when you surprised yourself by doing something you didn't think you could. Those are the sparks that built the fire of belief within you. Back, each of those sparks was lit not in ease but in challenge, and they accumulate into unshakable faith in yourself. Confidence is not about pretending to be fearless. Back, it's about moving forward while fear walks beside you. When you realize that fear doesn't need to disappear for you to act, you become unstoppable. Back. Choosing hard things rewires your brain to associate challenge with opportunity instead of danger. That rewiring is the secret to long-lasting confidence. People often confuse confidence with arrogance, but they are completely different. Arrogance is built on words, appearances, and fragile ego, while confidence is built on actions, proof, and results. Arrogance collapses under pressure because it has no foundation back, but confidence grows stronger with every test because it has evidence to support it. Every hard thing you face becomes a brick in the foundation of who you are, and the more bricks you lay, the more stable you become. Back, this is why you see people who have gone through real struggles carry themselves with quiet strength. They no longer need to prove anything to anyone. They have proven it to themselves, and that is enough. When you face challenges head on, you stop chasing external validation because your confidence is built internally, not borrowed from others. True strength is knowing you can walk into the storm and walk out stronger, to take it back without needing applause. That's why doing hard things is the most direct route to building confidence that cannot be shaken. Imagine a life where you only ever stayed in your comfort zone. It back. You would never learn your true limits, never unlock hidden potential, and never experience the satisfaction of growth. Comfort seems attractive, but it keeps you small. Growth, on the other hand, demands discomfort, struggle, and uncertainty, but it rewards you with freedom and self-trust. When you train your mind and body to endure hard things, you expand what feels possible in every area of life. Suddenly, it back. Conversations that once scared you become normal, tasks that once felt impossible become routine, and goals that once looked unreachable become your new standard. Back, this compounding effect transforms how you show up in the world. You no longer shrink yourself to fit situations, you rise to meet them with strength. Hard things become less about pain and more about practice. Back. Practice for becoming the strongest version of yourself. And once you learn to see difficulty as training instead of suffering, your entire outlook changes. It is not about chasing massive victories right away. Back. It is about stacking small wins consistently over time. Each small decision to face something hard instead of running away plants a seed of self-belief. Wake up early even when you want to sleep in. It back. And you prove discipline. Speak your truth even when your voice shakes, and you prove courage. Push through a workout even when your body wants to quit, and you prove resilience. These proofs compound, and over weeks, it back, months and years, they build a version of you that knows it can be trusted to follow through. That trust in yourself is confidence. It doesn't happen from one big moment of bravery, back, but from thousands of small moments of choosing hard things. And the more you choose them, the less you fear them, because your mind remembers the evidence of what you've already done. That evidence becomes your armor. Take it back, protecting you against doubt. The beauty of doing hard things is that it doesn't just build confidence, it builds character. It shapes you into someone others respect, not because you tell them to back, but because they see it in your actions. You become reliable, consistent, and steady in a world full of people who break at the first sign of difficulty. Confidence doesn't mean you will never fail, but it means failure no longer defines you. It becomes part of your training. Every fall is a lesson, every setback is feedback, and every comeback is proof that you are stronger than your circumstances. This mindset removes fear of failure because you understand that even failure contributes to your confidence. By walking through difficulty, you transform into a person who is not easily shaken by life's challenges. That kind of strength cannot be given. It must be earned through hard things. When you start viewing every obstacle as an opportunity to grow, life stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling empowering. Challenges are no longer personal attacks. They are invitations to rise. The heavier the weight you lift, the stronger you become, and life works the same way. Each obstacle is a weight designed to strengthen you if you dare to lift it. Most people spend their lives avoiding these weights and then wonder why they feel weak inside. But the few who lean into them, who accept the pain of growth, become unshakable in their confidence. They learn that the reward for enduring struggle is not just the result at the end, but the transformation during the journey back. And that transformation is where true confidence is born. Confidence is not about waiting until you feel ready. It is about acting before you are ready and proving to yourself along the way that you can handle it. Every new challenge you take on is a mirror that shows you how much stronger you become. Hard things remind you that readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. And when you stop waiting for the right time and start doing what feels uncomfortable, you unlock a new level of self-respect. That self-respect is the core of confidence because it means you no longer rely on luck, timing, or external validation. You rely on your own capacity to endure and grow. And once you know that you can always trust yourself to face hard things, there is nothing in this world that can shake your confidence again. Most people don't lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. They lack consistency with themselves. They say they will start tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. They set goals in the morning and break them by evening. What destroys confidence is not failure, but the repeated breaking of personal promises. Each time you say you'll do something and don't, you chip away at the trust you have in yourself. Over time, that erosion creates doubt, hesitation, and weakness. You no longer believe your own words because you've trained yourself to expect disappointment. To build confidence, you must first rebuild that trust, and the only way to do it is through action. Stop the back and forth conversations in your mind. Stop negotiating with your feelings and start executing your commitments. When you set a goal and then bargain with yourself to make it easier, you reinforce the belief that you are unreliable. It may feel harmless to delay a workout, postpone a project, or skip an uncomfortable task, but each small negotiation adds up. Your brain records everything and it learns quickly whether to take you seriously or not. When you consistently let yourself off the hook, you teach your mind that your words mean nothing. But when you follow through regardless of how you feel, you prove to yourself that your decisions are final. That is the difference between weakness and strength, between doubt and confidence. Following through doesn't just get results, it builds identity. And once your identity shifts, confidence becomes unshakable. The truth is that motivation is unreliable and feelings cannot be trusted. If you build your life around doing things only when you feel like it, you will never accomplish anything meaningful. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is discipline, not motivation. Discipline is the muscle that gets stronger the more you use it, and it grows every time you refuse to negotiate. When you wake up tired but still get up to honor your plan, you are building more than just a habit. You are building trust. That trust becomes the seed of confidence. Because you know deep down that you can rely on yourself. Confidence is simply the result of proving day after day that your word is law. Imagine how different life would be if every time you made a decision, you could trust yourself to follow through. No hesitation, no backtracking, no excuses. That kind of self-integrity is rare, but it is available to anyone willing to stop negotiating. When you cut off the option of quitting, you free yourself from the endless debate in your head. Instead of wasting energy convincing yourself to act, you simply act. That energy that was once drained by indecision is now invested into execution. Over time, this creates unstoppable momentum. Confidence then stops being something you try to summon back and instead becomes the natural byproduct of how you live. You no longer wonder if you can because you've built a track record that proves you always do. Every negotiation with yourself seems small in the moment, but it compounds into either weakness or strength. Skipping one workout seems insignificant, but it trains you to believe you are someone who quits. Completing one workout when you didn't feel like it may also seem insignificant, but it trains you to believe you are someone who shows up. These tiny decisions shape your identity, and identity shapes confidence. You are not building confidence in the future. You are building it in every small choice you make today. The question is whether those choices align with the person you want to become. If they don't, you'll always feel stuck. If they do, you'll feel unstoppable. Confidence is not about being loud, bold, or fearless. It's about being consistent. The most confident people are not the ones who shout the loudest, but the ones who know they will follow through no matter the circumstance. They don't waste energy wondering if they will take action. They simply take it. That certainty is magnetic because it cannot be faked. And the reason it cannot be faked is because it is built on years of refusing to negotiate with themselves. When you see someone steady and grounded, you are witnessing the outcome of thousands of small victories over excuses. That is where real confidence comes from, not external praise or luck. Back. The problem is that most people wait for the perfect conditions before they commit. They wait until they feel ready, until they feel motivated, until the timing feels right. Hit back. But waiting is just another form of negotiation, and it is the biggest killer of confidence. You do not build confidence by waiting for the right time. You build it by acting when it is inconvenient. You prove to yourself that your commitments are stronger than your circumstances. That proof stacks up until doubt no longer has a voice. Over time, you stop asking, "Can I do this?" and start declaring, "I will do this." That shift in language comes only from evidence, not empty talk. When you refuse to negotiate, you also remove the emotional weight of decision making. The choice is already made back, so you no longer wrestle with it. That mental clarity is powerful because it allows you to focus your energy on action instead of overthinking. Every time you hesitate, you give fear and doubt time to grow. But when you act without negotiation, you silence those voices before they can take root. This is why consistency feels easier once you commit fully. It eliminates the constant tug of war inside your mind. You are no longer debating who you are proving it. And each proof builds a deeper layer of unshakable confidence. Think about the difference between a person who negotiates daily with themselves and one who does not. The negotiator lives in constant self-doubt, unsure whether they will follow through, always seeking comfort. Back, the non-negotiator lives in certainty because their actions are automatic and aligned with their goals. One feels trapped by their lack of trust in themselves, back, while the other feels free because they know they can rely on their own word. The only difference between them is discipline. Confidence is not a mystery. It is the natural result of doing what you said you would do, get back, long after the feeling has left. Confidence is not built in a single moment, but in thousands of moments where you choose discipline over excuses. Every time you do what you said you would, take it back. You strengthen the bond between who you are and who you want to become. That bond becomes the foundation of trust, and trust becomes the foundation of confidence. The longer you practice this back, the stronger the foundation gets until it is unshakable. While others struggle to believe in themselves, you stand firm because you have evidence. And in a world full of broken promises, back, the person who never negotiates with themselves stands out as unstoppable. Confidence is not built through empty words or repeated affirmations. It is built through undeniable evidence. Back. You can tell yourself that you are strong, capable, or resilient, but unless you have proof, your mind will always question it. Affirmations feel good in the moment, but they often fade when life puts pressure on you. Back. What remains in those moments is the record of actions you have taken, the real evidence of who you are. If you want unshakable confidence, back, you need to stop convincing yourself with talk and start proving yourself with results. Evidence is the scoreboard that your brain trusts, and it doesn't lie. Each completed challenge, each finished task, each moment you push through becomes a deposit into your confidence account. The more deposits you make, the richer you become in self-belief. When you stack evidence, back, you are building a case that even doubt cannot argue against. Think of every action you take as another piece of proof added to your file of confidence. A skipped promise adds to doubt, but a kept promise adds to strength. Over time, the weight of this evidence becomes impossible to ignore. You no longer have to ask yourself if you are capable. You know you are because the evidence says so. This is why the people who achieve great things do not rely on affirmations to feel strong. They have stacked so much proof of their abilities that their confidence is rooted in facts, not feelings. Back. That difference is what makes their confidence unshakable even in the hardest moments. Every time you push through resistance, you are giving yourself more proof to lean on in the future. Back. Maybe it's finishing that workout when your body wanted to quit. Maybe it's speaking in a room when your voice was shaking, or maybe it's showing up to work when you didn't feel motivated. Those moments are not random. They are critical evidence points. Your brain remembers them, and when doubt comes knocking, you can look back at the record and know you've been here before. That record becomes your shield. Without it, you are left with only hope, and hope is too fragile to withstand life's storms. Evidence, on the other hand, is unshakable. Back. It reminds you of what you've already endured and convinces you that you can endure more. Back. The problem with relying on affirmations alone is that they create a gap between who you say you are and who you have proven yourself to be. That gap is where insecurity lives. You can repeat positive statements all day to get back, but when your actions don't match your words, your brain knows the truth. Confidence is not about what you say, it's about what you show. When your daily actions back up your words, the gap disappears. Back. And confidence becomes natural. You no longer need to repeat affirmations to convince yourself because you already live in alignment with them. The evidence speaks louder than any words you could say. Back. That is the power of stacking actions over affirmations. Building this kind of confidence requires consistency, not perfection. You don't need to win every single time, back, but you do need to keep stacking more wins than losses. The goal is progress, not flawless execution. Each small win, even if it seems insignificant, is still evidence that you are moving forward. Back. The mistake most people make is waiting for a big breakthrough before they trust themselves, when in reality, it's the small, repeated actions that carry the most weight. The little wins are like bricks in a wall, and over time they build a fortress of confidence. You may not notice the wall rising day by day, but eventually you look around and realize it's unshakable. Confidence also comes from stacking evidence across different areas of life, not just one. When you build discipline in fitness, it spills into work. When you build consistency in your relationships, it spills into your sense of worth. Every action you complete reinforces the identity of being someone who follows through. That identity does not stay locked in one area. It multiplies across everything you do. This is why the best way to grow confidence is to take small, difficult actions in every part of your life. Each one becomes a piece of evidence, and together, They create a version of you that no longer doubts whether you can handle challenges. The evidence is undeniable. It's important to realize that evidence can be stacked in the wrong direction too. Every time you quit on yourself, you are stacking proof that you are unreliable. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you are stacking proof that you cannot be trusted to follow through. That evidence builds insecurity just as quickly as consistent action builds confidence. The mind collects data, and it does not discriminate between good and bad. It simply records. So the question becomes, what evidence are you stacking today? Are you reinforcing strength or are you reinforcing weakness? The direction you choose determines the confidence you build. This is why the process of stacking evidence must be intentional. You cannot drift into confidence. It must be built with deliberate action. You choose the habits that will serve as your proof. You decide what promises you will keep, what standards you will hold, and what actions you will take regardless of feeling. Each time you choose intentionally, you are adding to your case. Confidence doesn't come from wishing. It comes from preparation and proof. You cannot trick your mind into believing in you, but you can train it to trust you. That trust comes only from stacked evidence. Think of a courtroom where the verdict is based not on what is said, but on the evidence presented. Your mind works the same way. It doesn't care how many times you say you are strong. Take it back. It cares about the evidence of strength you have provided. It doesn't care how many times you affirm discipline. It cares about whether you've lived it. Each action is a piece of evidence submitted to the jury of your mind, and over time the verdict becomes clear. Either you are someone who follows through or you are someone who quits. Either you are someone who grows under pressure or someone who collapses. The evidence always tells the truth. When you focus on stacking evidence instead of repeating affirmations, you build confidence that does not crack under pressure. You no longer need to psych yourself up before challenges because your history has already proven your capability. You stop wondering if you are good enough, because you know the work you've done. You stop fearing failure because you've already survived it before and turned it into proof. That is the essence of unshakable confidence. It's not about what you tell yourself in the mirror. It's about what you can prove when life tests you. The stronger your evidence, the stronger your confidence. And that strength will carry you through anything. Confidence is not built in a single day, and it is never the result of one lucky break or one bold move. It is the product of years of showing up, especially when showing up felt inconvenient, painful, or unrewarded in the moment. Too many people give up because they think confidence should arrive quickly, like flipping a switch. But the truth is confidence is a slow build, formed through repetition, failure, and persistence. Every time you push forward despite setbacks, you are adding another layer to the foundation. It may not feel like progress in the moment, but over time, that foundation becomes unshakable. The long game is what separates those who wish from those who win. Confidence becomes real only when you accept that it requires patience. It is a marathon, not a sprint, and the reward is worth the endurance. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a decade. They want confidence after a few small wins, but true self-belief is forged through countless trials. Think of the people you admire who carry themselves with calm strength. It wasn't built overnight. Their confidence came from years of small, steady actions, often invisible to the outside world. Each repetition of effort compounded until it became their identity. This is why playing the long game matters. It ensures that your confidence does not collapse under the weight of pressure. A shortcut may bring temporary results, but only time-tested consistency creates something permanent. The long game is where real confidence is born and sustained. Failure is not the opposite of confidence. It is part of building it. Those who play the short game view failure as a signal to quit, but those who play the long game see it as necessary training. Every failure you survive becomes proof that you are stronger than you imagined. It is not the easy wins that make you resilient, but the moments you wanted to give up and didn't. With every setback, you develop the mental muscle required to keep going. That persistence is what builds a foundation deeper than fear. When you embrace failure as part of the journey, confidence grows naturally. The long game ensures that failure is never final. It is simply another step toward becoming stronger. Patience is one of the most underrated skills in building confidence. The world constantly sells speed, instant success, and overnight growth, but none of that creates lasting belief in yourself. Patience is where confidence grows, because it teaches you to trust the process rather than chase shortcuts. When you trust the process, you stop obsessing over quick results and focus on consistency instead. Confidence comes from knowing that progress is happening, even when it feels invisible. Over months and years, the invisible becomes undeniable. Patience removes desperation and replaces it with calm certainty. That certainty is the essence of unshakable confidence. Playing the long game requires patience. Back. But patience is the key to lasting transformation. The long game also requires resilience, the ability to keep showing up when results are delayed. Confidence cannot exist without resilience, because life will always test your resolve. Challenges, delays, and disappointments are inevitable, but they are not signs to quit. They are opportunities to deepen your strength. When you remain steady through them, you prove to yourself that nothing external can shake your internal foundation. This resilience compounds over time until your confidence is no longer tied to outcomes. You don't need immediate success to feel strong back because you already know you can endure the process. Resilience is the invisible force that separates temporary confidence from permanent confidence. It can only be built by committing to the long game. A discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and it is the most important tool for the long game. Back, confidence does not come from doing something once. It comes from repeating it over and over until it becomes part of you. Discipline ensures that you keep moving forward even when your feelings try to pull you back. Every disciplined act is evidence added to your belief system, proof that you can be trusted. Over years, discipline hardens into identity, and identity becomes confidence. Back, the long game is not about working hard for a week. It is about sustaining effort through seasons of change. Discipline is what keeps the fire alive when motivation fades. And in the long game, back, motivation will always fade, but discipline never has to. When you play the long game, you stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that everyone's journey unfolds at a different pace. Comparison is a trap of the short game. It makes you believe you are behind when in reality, you are just on your own timeline. Confidence is not about beating others back. It's about beating yesterday's version of yourself. When you measure progress only against who you were, you can see the truth you are growing, even if it feels slow. That awareness keeps you consistent and steady. Back, confidence grows when you stop rushing to catch up and start trusting your own process. The long game is about staying committed to your lane no matter how long it takes. Time is the great equalizer back, and those who stay consistent always outlast those who chase shortcuts. Confidence cannot be rushed because rush growth is fragile. It breaks under pressure. Long-term growth, however, is reinforced through years of proof. You no longer need to convince yourself that you can handle life. You know it because time has tested you and you remain standing. Get back. This is why unshakable confidence can only come from the long game. Time has a way of revealing strength, shaping resilience, and rewarding discipline. When you commit for the long haul, you give yourself permission to become unstoppable. And that is what separates the confident from the uncertain. Confidence built through the long game carries a weight that cannot be faked back. It is the quiet strength of someone who has endured, failed, learned, and risen again. It is not loud or showy, but steady and undeniable. It back. People who carry this type of confidence don't need to announce it. It shows in their presence. And the only way to build this kind of presence is to play the long game, to keep showing up long after others have quit. Back, the long game builds not just confidence, but character. And character is what sustains confidence when life tests you the hardest. Confidence without character is fragile. Back. But confidence built on years of persistence is eternal. The greatest gift of playing the long game is that one day you will look back and realize you have become unrecognizable from the person you once were. It back. You will see the strength that came from years of small decisions, the courage that came from surviving failure, and the confidence that came from never giving up. That moment is the true reward, not the applause. In fact, not the recognition, but the undeniable proof of who you became. Confidence is not built in a day, it is built day by day, and only those who play the long game ever experience it fully. Stay patient, stay disciplined, take it back, stay resilient, because time will always honor those who refuse to quit. Confidence that lasts is confidence that was earned.